The fog was so thick, it looked alive. From the station platform, the train was only a line of ghostly lamps floating in mist. The night carried that particular cold of North Indian winters, the kind that bites through 3 layers of wool and still finds your bones. Mihir pulled his muffler tighter around his face and looked down the platform. "Samir, hurry up. It's freezing." Samir jogged up, dragging their suitcase, breath clouding in the air. Coach S4. "Berth 29 and 30, he muttered, scanning the numbers on the fog-dimmed train windows. When they finally found their compartment, it was empty, except for one man seated by the window, wrapped entirely in a brown shawl. Only the outline of his nose and a small portion of his mouth showed beneath the folds. He looked up and smiled. "Young fellows traveling tonight, eh? Cold won't spare anyone." His voice was warm, almost musical, and it carried strangely well in the empty coach. Mihir nodded politely, stuffing his bag under the berth. "Going to Howrah?" "Yes," the man said. "Been a long time since I took this route. Winters make the journey interesting." Samir chuckled. "Interesting? It's torture." The train lurched forward with a metallic groan, wheels grinding against the frozen rails. The lights flickered as they left the platform behind and slipped into the darkness. By 10 p.m., the compartment was quiet. The rhythmic clatter of the train was hypnotic, broken only by the occasional blast of cold air sneaking in through the window gaps. Mihir tried reading, Samir tried sleeping, and both failed miserably. "Let's tell stories," Samir said suddenly, eyes gleaming with mischief. "Ghost stories. It's the perfect night." Mihir groaned. "Again? You know you'll freak out halfway and make me switch on all the lights." "I won't. Promise." The man in the shawl chuckled softly. "Ghost stories? How delightful. Mind if I join?" "Of course, Uncle," Samir said eagerly. "You can start if you like." The man leaned back, the shawl rustling. His face remained shadowed. He spoke slowly, each word deliberate, the way someone unwraps a dangerous secret. "Many years ago," he began, "there was a man who worked on the railways. People called him Nene Kata, because one night a train took everything from him, except his head." Mihir shifted uneasily. The man continued, eyes glinting beneath the shawl. "He was drunk," they said, "fell between 2 compartments. The train didn't even slow down. But something strange happened. When the crew found the remains, there was no head, only blood. For days, they searched along the tracks, but it was gone." The sound of the wheels grew louder, echoing like a heartbeat. "Since then," the man whispered, "on foggy winter nights like this, passengers have seen something rolling between the coaches. A human head, sometimes laughing, sometimes whispering, sometimes asking." The train lights flickered violently. The man's voice dropped lower. "Have you seen my body?" Samir laughed nervously. "Creepy story, Uncle. You really..." The man interrupted, still calm. "Oh, but it's not just a story. Nene Kata travels with the train. He likes the smell of steel and smoke. They say he sits with passengers, pretending to be one of them, until midnight." A gust of cold wind rushed in through the half-closed window. The temperature in the compartment seemed to drop. Mihir stared at the clock on the wall. 11:57 p.m. Something changed in the sound of the train. The rhythm grew uneven, metallic. The fog outside had thickened into white walls. Samir rubbed his hands. "Feels like the heater's gone." The man in the shawl was motionless now, his head slightly tilted as if listening to something distant. Mihir cleared his throat. "You travel often?" The man didn't answer. The clock ticked. 11:59. A faint metallic thud echoed from under the compartment, like something dragging along the rails. Then another. Samir looked down. Did you hear? The lights went out. Darkness swallowed the compartment. Only the dim emergency bulb glowed red, turning the shawl-covered figure into a silhouette. Mihir whispered, "Uncle?" The figure slowly turned toward them. "It's midnight," he said softly. Outside, the train horn screamed through the fog. The red light flickered, casting shadows that seemed to move. The shawled man chuckled, a sound too wet, too close. Samir stumbled back. "Stop joking, man." The shawl slipped slightly. Beneath it, something glistened. Skin, blood, and then nothing below the neck. The head tilted forward, rolling slightly in the folds of the shawl. Nahir couldn't scream. His voice stuck in his throat as the figure leaned closer. "You liked my story," the head whispered. "Now it's your turn to travel with me." The head rolled off the seat and hit the floor with a thud, eyes open, grinning. It began to move, slowly, deliberately, bouncing toward them as the train screeched through the fog. The compartment door slammed shut on its own. The emergency light died. Only the sound of laughter remained. "Have you seen my body?" Silence, echoing through the corridor from a head that kept whispering, "Have you seen my body?" At dawn, the train arrived in Howrah. Passengers from coach S4 were missing. Only a brown shawl lay neatly folded on a blood-stained seat. Railway staff swore they heard faint laughter echoing from the undercarriage. And in the thick morning fog, one of them thought he saw a shape moving along the tracks. A round object, rolling slowly toward the next train. 3